Good morning, everyone. Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us on this important meeting. As you all know, I'll be hosting the meeting today. My name is Mr. Usman Gay, the Community Development Worker for Family Voice, Peterborough. First of all, can I remind you all that we will be recording our today's meeting and can be accessed via our Facebook and YouTube pages. If anyone that do not feel comfortable on the recordings, please do let me know, or you let Judith know about it. Yeah. In today's meeting, we will be giving some advice on financial matters for parents carers. We all know how difficult these times are. Therefore, it is very, very important to cut down on necessary spendings. We have 4 wonderful speakers who will guide us through above subject. So by the end of the meeting, we will all be equipped with knowledge on how to manage our finances. First of all, I would like to start with our wonderful speaker, Helen Jones, the Volunteer Development Manager from GAP. When I say GAP, is Citizen Advice Bureau, Peterborough. Then we will move to Janet Parkin, Welfare Benefit Advisor and Supervisor from GAP as well, Citizen Advice Bureau. Then Dave Winton from the Partnership Advisor from Department for Works and Pensions. Then we have Steve Hacknett, for the Community Connector from Peterborough City Council. Helen, over to you.
Thank you so much, Usman. Thank you for inviting us today. I'm just going to share my screen with you. It'd be really helpful if you've not muted your line that you do that now, because there's a bit of background noise today, but hopefully you'll be able to hear me okay. So hopefully you can see my screen okay. If someone could give me a nod. Yeah,
I can.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jeanette. So, hello. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Helen. I am the Volunteer Development Manager at Citizens Advice Peterborough. And I'm just going to give you a bit of information about what our service does, how you can access it, and the types of support that we can give to you, and the different ways that you can contact us. So firstly, what does Citizens Advice do? Well, we are a member of a national organisation, Citizens Advice, but we are very much a local charity. So we are here for local people with local problems. We are here to serve the people of Peterborough, and there are different Citizens Advice officers dotted around England and Wales. So if you don't live in Peterborough itself, we might not be your local service. So if you live over towards Huntingdon or over towards South Lincolnshire, there will be different Citizens Advice officers that you can contact. I'll explain a little bit more about that later. As I said, we're here to serve the people of Peterborough and help them with their problems. Our service is inclusive. We're here for anyone and everyone. And so we are trying really hard to break down some of the barriers that are in place that people might struggle to access our service. So if you might be struggling with a language barrier, if you struggle to communicate in English as a second language, and we do offer a full translation service. So you'll be able to speak to us in your preferred language. And we can also use a BSL translator. So if you are hard of hearing, then you can also communicate with us in that way as well. We are here to offer free, confidential, impartial and independent advice and information. Our service is free. We're a charity, but we don't expect our clients to pay for the service that we offer. It's entirely free to everybody. It is entirely confidential, so anything you tell us will be kept within our service. We will, keep that information safe and secure. We won't share it with anybody else, including other members of your family or the people that you know, unless you give us your permission to do so. It's also impartial and independent. A lot of people think that Citizens Advice is part of the government or it's part of the local council. It isn't. We do receive some funding from Peterborough City Council and also some money from national government for some of the projects that we run. But our service is completely impartial and independent from local and national government. And so we keep that impartiality, even though we work very closely with our colleagues at the council and at national government, but it is very much an independent, impartial service. As I said, we're a local charity and there's lots of different ways that you can contact us. Obviously, things are a little bit different at the moment because of the COVID-19 situation, although things are looking better in that way. But you can contact us in lots of different ways via telephone, email, through digital chat on our website. And we're also starting to do video calls with some of our clients as well. So similar to this on Zoom, so that you can have that face-to-face interaction with one of our advisors, even though you're doing it remotely over a computer or tablet. As I said a moment ago, we do offer a translation service. We use a translation service called Language Line, which offers translation in a number of different languages. So you're always able to communicate with us in your preferred language rather than trying to communicate in English if that might be difficult for you. We also work with a lot of specialist services locally and nationally. So if we can't help you with your issue, we can signpost you or refer you to another service so that they can actually help you with your problems if we're not able to. So what sort of things do we give advice on? I'll go through some of them, give you some examples, and then if you do have any specific questions, my colleague Jeanette is here with me today and she should be able to answer those. If not, we'll take them away and then we'll come back to you with some answers. So one of the big areas of advice that we focus on is around welfare benefits and tax credits. So helping you to increase your income, the money coming into your household every week or every month. And that might be through accessing welfare benefits from the government or tax credits, things like universal credit, carers allowance, direct payments. And so we can help you to understand how to apply, whether you're eligible, so whether you meet the criteria for claiming different benefits, and then how you can actually go about seeking those benefits. We can also help you if you're having issues, if you think you're getting the wrong amount of money from your benefits or you feel you're on the wrong benefit, we can also help you. We can do what's called a benefits check. We use a benefit calculator and we can look at your personal circumstances, where you live, how many children you might have, any other health issues, and we can help you to understand what benefits you might be entitled to and how to apply. Jeanette is a benefits specialist, so if you do have any more specific questions, you can always ask those at the end. It can also help you with things like money management and debt. COVID-19 has been a very difficult time for a lot of people. Money has been difficult. People have been out of work or have been furloughed. And so some debts might have started to pile up. And so we can help you by looking at creating a simple budget, thinking about how much money is coming into your household, and then what you're spending that money on, your bills, your rent, your mortgage, or your council tax, and then helping you to sort of manage your money to cover all of your outgoings and still have money for food and other things. And if you are struggling with any debts or you owe money to any companies or people, then we can also help you to try and address that and to work with the creditors that you owe money to and to help you to come up with some simple payment plans. So that's money and debt. We can also help with issues around housing and preventing homelessness. So basically helping you to stay safe and well in your home. So we can help people who might be at risk of eviction, who might be struggling with issues with their landlord, who might be living in a rented property where it's in a bad state of repair. And we can help you to deal with issues like that. We have some specialist advisors who focus on homelessness prevention, and they can help you, especially if you're at urgent need of support in this area, and they can help you with those issues. We can also help with things like family and personal relationships. You know, COVID has been a stressful time for many people, and also if you're dealing with debts or complicated family situations. So we can help if you're struggling with family relationships, you're going through a separation or a divorce, you're trying to parent or share custody of children. You might be looking for support in terms of family mediation or counselling. And also if you've experienced any sort of domestic abuse or violence at home, we can also help you in those sorts of situations as well. We often refer people to local services for family mediation and counselling. And as I said, you know, we can link through to other organisations who can give specialist advice in that area. Finally, employment. We have a specialist employment advisor. So if you're struggling with any issues around work, either you might have been made redundant, or you're facing redundancy, or you've lost your job, or you've been struggling with workplace discrimination, or your rights at work, or access to sick statutory pay and things like that, we can also help you with those sorts of issues as well. Or if you're having to leave a paid role because of your responsibilities at home, or your workplace is not being very supportive while you're trying to look after you know, family issues, then we can also help you with those sorts of problems as well. As I said, if we can't help you with your issue, then we work with lots of local and national services that we can also signpost you onto. So organisations like the Food Bank that can provide emergency food rations for families, Care Zone that can help with things like furniture, and sometimes in certain circumstances, things like white goods, so kettles and fridges and things like that, although there is limited budget for that now. Consumer helpline, if you've got issues with any of your appliances or any issues like that. Family mediation, as I've said, and also immigration specialists. We have some amazing organisations in the city who can help, especially at the moment, following on from Brexit and the changes to immigration status in the UK. We can also help you with those sorts of things. And also local council support, so things like council tax support, or accessing support for adaptations to your house if you need ramps or you know, specialist equipment or anything like that. So how can you contact us? Well, the easiest way to contact our service is to telephone us. Our advice line service is open Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It is free to call us from a landline or mobile. And our service is delivered by local people, local volunteers and local staff who can help you with any issues that you might have. If you're not based in Peterborough, there will be other local advice line numbers for different areas. So do have a look, Google, or you can have a look at the Citizens Advice website and it will tell you where your nearest Citizens Advice is. So that's the easiest way to contact us. You can also visit our website to find information for yourself. We have our local website, and that's the address there, or there is the National Citizens Advice website as well. And there's lots of useful information, templates, downloadable resources that are very useful if you want to have a look for yourself. If you are on our website and you find that you don't really understand what's being said, or you can't find the right information that you're looking for, then you can click on this little button that comes up in the corner. It says talk to an advisor, and you can web chat through the website with one of our advisors. So they can help you to find the right information or explain what it means for you. There's two different types of web chat. There's one that's specialist for debt advice, and that's available Monday to Friday, 8 AM to 7 PM, or general advice, so for anything other than debt, again, it's Monday to Friday, 10 AM to 4 PM. So you'll find that there's usually web chat advisors on much earlier and slightly later than that, Monday to Friday. So if you go to any page of the website, this little blue button will pop up, and then you can talk to somebody. So that's the best way to contact us. I will share these slides so that this information can be sent out. But please do contact us if you have any issues or concerns, if you need any help. That's what we're here for. We're not open as a face-to-face service at the moment because of the COVID pandemic, but we hope that that might change in future. But for now, please do telephone us, digital chat with us, or visit our website for further information. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, Steve.
Hi, yeah, Steve from PCC Hub. I'm going to be talking a bit later anyway, so thanks very much for your presentation. Sorry if it's a slightly specific question. It's about white goods that you mentioned, and it is something that comes up quite regularly to our callers to the Hub. People asking about white goods, and I know it's quite it's a difficult issue, but I don't know whether you can clarify anything about criteria and availability so we can advise people when they call.
Yes, certainly. Jeanette's probably a better place to answer that than I am. I think there is a small amount of budget left with CareZone to cover the cost of white goods. And so it is for families who are in quite serious need. Jeanette, can you expand on that a little bit for us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I can't, I don't know how to put my camera on, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Yeah, the other criteria would be from CareZone is that they need to be moving into the property. They're not replacing broken goods anymore, or goods that aren't working. And it's obviously they've got to be have a crisis situation. The main criteria is that it is only a few items that they've got of white goods. And it's on a client-based basis, really. It's on an individual client basis. So, I mean, I don't think there's a lot more you can say about it at the moment than that it is only just crisis, and they are only giving out new fridge freezers, washing machines to people that are moving into new property.
Thanks, that's useful.
Okay.
Any other queries or questions? I'll just come out of this because I can't see everybody.
Any more questions?
Oh, got a few things in the chat. No.
Is there any questions before we move to Janet? Seems like there is no questions. Seems like everything is clear. Thank you, Helen. Thank you so much for your presentation. I'm sure this information will be very, very useful for all of us, particularly our parents' care. So can I now pass the floor to the Janet Parkin, please. Janet, over to you, please. if you want to come out.
Jeanette was really here to answer questions for Citizens Advice, so she didn't really have a separate agenda slot.
Yeah. All right.
If anyone's got any questions about welfare benefits, then Jeanette's able to answer those. Oh, Bernadetta.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry I won't put my video on because of where I am. And thanks. Thank you very much for such an informative information. What I wanted to ask is, most of the people at times are told to ring the number of CAB, and at times it's very difficult to go through. Is there any easier way for the community to be able to reach, especially at times they're told to go online? Some of the community members do not have any digital gadgets, and it's a real problem, and therefore they rely on leaders, and some of the community leaders also go to work. So you find somebody actually suffers before they could be helped. Is there any easier way that we could do referrals and can contact you easily? Thank you.
Yes, certainly. So we do have referral pathways set up with quite a lot of local community groups. So Care Zone, Food Bank, Peterborough Women's Aid. So if you would like us to set up a referral pathway, we use a very simple but secure online form that you can fill in that provides some basic details about the person and their issue. That comes through to us, and then we will contact them directly just to speed up that process. So rather than then having to pick up the phone to us, we will contact them and arrange a time for an advice session. So if you want to take my details, I'll put them in the chat. Contact me and we can put something in place for you if that would speed up the process.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt again. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. But why I'm saying the examples you've given are not really the communities leaders. I'm saying I'm talking of the community as in Gambian communities. Those are the people who are in the grassroots, and then they work with this food bank and the rest. So it would be nice if you like. I would share it with other community groups leaders, and they can fill the forms to see if they can help the other community members, if that's okay. Thank you.
Yes, certainly. So they can refer people on behalf of the community to us, and we will contact the individual people.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wonderful.
I'll just put my email address in here, and anyone is welcome to contact me.
Thank you. Any more questions? Thank you, Helen, for the email.
That's okay.
Any more questions? Tanya, Suno, Aniaska, all of you guys, do you have any questions, please?
No, I'm fine, thank you. That's clear to me.
Yeah, thank you. I'm fine too. Well, the only one question, Helen, where are your long hairs? You look wonderful, but anyway, they're short now.
Oh, thank you, Snow. That's very kind of you. I know it's gone very short. I think post-COVID, I just went a bit crazy.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. No other questions.
Yeah, thank you, Snow. Thank you very much. Good to see you back as well. Yeah, thank you. Faustina, any questions? Ellen, I think you've done your job.
Sorry, the unmute button on the phone is a bit difficult to manage.
All right.
I think what Benedetta asked is really good. I think I'm in the same boat as her. You know, a lot of times it's just overworked or overwhelmed by the requests from the community members because they all come to the leader, hope you sort this out. So the pathway is really good. I'd like to get the information to be able to share with the group. They're still going to contact the leaders because there's been, you know, a relationship and a trust being built up, and they're still going to contact you, Benedetta, and me from my group. But at least we can direct them to that form or refer them and for the for you to make more direct contact. That will reduce a bit of a workload, I think. So thank you very much.
Oh, that's great. I should also say that hopefully we are working towards reopening our face-to-face services, not just here at our office on St Mark Street, but reinvigorating what we were doing in terms of outreach. So before the COVID pandemic, we were based at local doctors' surgeries and libraries and community centres, so that it was easier for people to access our service in different parts of the city. And that's something that we're certainly looking to start again when it's safe and we're able to do that. And again, that might be a good way. So if we could offer any sessions in any of the community centres that you utilise and bring our advisors to you, rather than again making it difficult for people to access our service by them having to contact us.
That's brilliant. I was wondering, when I do the next community Zoom meeting, if the time it's suitable, maybe we could invite you to come and talk to people to raise awareness of this service. It's available, it's there if people need help. That's what we did with other services. I think for someone coming from the official organization, telling them it's more credible to them, like, look, I'm here to help, and this is what's available, rather than me passing on all the time. Although when they deal with their own issues, they are still likely to come to me. But since we had the official introduction, then they feel more comfortable to make contact. So maybe this can be arranged.
Yes, of course. We're more than happy to, come and attend local sessions, talk to people, raise awareness of our service. So please do invite us to any future meetings. We'll always make sure that one of the team is available to come and talk to you. And like you say, it helps to, make those introductions, break down those barriers, and, if they can understand a bit more about our service, then they might be more likely to use it. So anything we can do in that way, please do let us know. More than happy to help.
That's great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Karen, do you have any questions? Karen?
No, I'm okay on that one, thank you.
Yeah. All right. It looks like everybody's okay with Helen at the moment. Helen and Janet, your presentation definitely is absolutely wonderful, So, and we got your email here. I'll make sure that I will share it with everyone. I will ask Judy to share it with everyone in case anybody wants to contact you. You can get in touch with Helen through her email, please. And any question you want to ask, I'm sure she'll be happy to help you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, Judy, if you could share it after the meeting, that will be absolutely fantastic, please. Yeah.
Yeah, I will do that. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much for that. All right, Helen, thank you very much once again. Now we'll move to Mr. Dave, please. Dave, over to you, Mr. Dave, please. If you can, from Department for Works and Pensions. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning to you.
I didn't quite know what sort of information our colleagues in Citizens Advice would be giving out, so I've prepared a couple of briefs. And what I'll do is, once I've delivered the presentation and so on to people, I will send through my briefing notes so they can be distributed. Because, as I say, we work very closely with Citizens Advice, and I very much enjoyed the presentation. But those of us within DWP obviously have been very affected by the pandemic. And one of the difficulties we've had is sort of being able to access our customers face to face, because that's a huge part of what we do. Our work coaches and our staff within our job centres. I mean, I cover the whole of Cambridgeshire, so all of those 5 job centres within Cambridgeshire. So that's Peterborough, Cambridge, Huntingdon, Wisbech and Ely. I'm speaking to you today from my dining room in Peterborough, because I'm based in Peterborough Job Centre, but I'm working from home currently. And we have changed our sort of frontline stuff due to the pandemic, but I'm pleased to say that from Monday, but the 12th of April, so we've been doing it for a week or so now, we've now been able to alter our normal working hours, our opening hours, to back to 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, because we, prior to the 12th of April, we had cut down our opening hours for customers to just a couple of hours during the middle of the day, but we've now thankfully been able to reopen so we're now open 9 till 5 for face-to-face interviews and so on. We're also open on Saturdays now in Cambridge and Peterborough job centres. And we're looking again to get more and more people back into our office to make sure that we have those resources available for our face-to-face interviews, because at the height of the pandemic, 90% of the people were working from home. The reason why about 50% of the people are still working from home is the problem with social distancing and so on within the job centre, because the one thing we must do is to make sure our customers and our staff are kept safe. So we've had to sort of take out every other desk. So there aren't now enough desks available at the moment for everyone to come back into the office. But obviously, as the government roadmap opens up and so on, we're very aware of that, and we'll be looking to sort those things out. But at the moment, the majority of our sort of dealings with our customers are either on the telephone, or if they're on Universal Credit, via their Universal Credit journal, and only very few face-to-face appointments at the moment. What we're doing is we're asking people wherever possible not to come to the job centre unless they have an appointment, a pre-arranged appointment. We're not encouraging people to drop in without an appointment, but obviously if people are in urgent need and they're vulnerable and they can't access our services in any other way, then we do have a small front of house team that will deal with drop-in appointments. But wherever possible, you should try and make an appointment before you turn up at the job centre. But as I say, we're very happy to see those people. Now, in terms of the benefits side of things, I mean, obviously, I've put together some information which people hopefully will find useful. I'm not going to go through it in great detail, but in terms of welfare benefits, I've put together disability living allowance for children under 16, because for parent carers that might be something that people are interested in if they've not already, if they're not aware of it or they're not sure how to claim and so on. So I've got some information that I'll send out afterwards about that. I've also got some information about how you make a claim to carers allowance and so on, because again, that might be something that parent carers would be entitled to. And then obviously Universal Credit now has taken over from quite a lot of the means tested benefits that we used to administer. So income-based job seekers allowance for unemployed people, income related employment and support allowance for those that are unable to work because of ill health, income support, child tax credit, working tax credit and housing benefit. If you now wish to make a new claim to any of those, you would have to claim Universal Credit instead. And so I'll put together some information on how you do that. Universal Credit, of course, is mainly accessed through online. You make your claim online and set up your own online account. But there are different ways to do that if you're not able to, if you don't have access to IT equipment, or you're not able to use it, or you're not very confident in using it and so on. You can, in exceptional circumstances, make a claim by telephone. And I will include the number and everything in that. So it's a free phone number. But I've just put together some basic information on that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to look at, because in terms of help that we can give people, because the colleagues at Citizens Advice obviously mentioned about, debt and people needing that help and advice and so on if they are in debt or in trouble with that sort of thing. And there's lots and lots of help that we can give. One of those is to do with Universal Credit. If people can't make ends meet until such time as their first universal credit payment is made, because when you make a claim to universal credit, your first payment won't usually be paid until 5 weeks after you make your claim. So obviously, if you can't manage until that first payment comes in, then we can issue a universal credit advance, which is a interest-free loan, which has to be repaid. But I'm pleased to say that the repayment period for that universal credit advance has recently been increased from 12 to 24 months. So you now have 2 years to pay it back instead of the 12-month statutory period that was before. So that does make quite a bit of difference and reduces the sort of amount of repayments that have to be made. But again, if you're struggling to repay those sorts of debts and things like that, the one thing that people need to do is to make contact with us, either through their Universal Credit Journal online or over the telephone with their work coach and so on at the job centre, because we are able to look at whether and how much people are currently repaying and so on, and we can very often reschedule those sort of payments that we're making, so that it gives people a bit more money in their pocket and they have less deductions from their universal credit and so on. But in terms of support for our vulnerable customers, because we obviously realise that lots of people aren't IT savvy, or they have special needs and need extra help and support and so on, we can, under those circumstances, we've got lots and lots of things that we can do to help. But one of the things we have done to help is we've set up a bit like the Citizens Advice system that you've heard about, but we have now for each of our job centres within Cambridgeshire set up a secure email address that's specifically for the use of our partners and external stakeholders and so on. And we've set up an email address that you can use to send in inquiries on behalf of your vulnerable customers and so on, to be able to, so that we can address those. And that's manned throughout the day by experienced specialist work coaches who will look at the queries and so on, and they will get back to you as soon as they possibly can once they've got an answer for you. And I will send out the email addresses for those so that you can have access to that. So if there's anything we can do in terms of the clients that you're dealing with and so on, if they're, you've exhausted all ways of trying to sort things out and there's sort of desperate cases and so on, then please use that facility to email us and we can have a look at that for you as soon as possible. I'm the partnership advisor for Cambridgeshire. And again, I will include my email address because if there's anything I can do to help to escalate things, I'm only too pleased to do so. So if you have particular issues and so on that you can't seem to solve in any other way, and the vulnerable customer help thing that I've just described hasn't worked or whatever, and you're not getting a reply, then please drop me a line and I'll get on the case and see what I can do to help. The only other thing I'd like to just mention briefly is, of course, of the issues of consent and disclosure of information, because for universal credit, the consent and disclosure of information procedure has changed quite a bit. So under normal circumstances, before we can tell outside agencies, external agencies and partners and so on any information at all, we need consent from the person concerned, and they can give that in various different ways. If you happen to be the person that you're speaking on behalf of is next to you, then you can hand the phone to them and we can accept it over the telephone with that explicit consent that we require. If someone calls into the job centre as a representative with your client, then again, obviously they can tell the work coach straight away that they're perfectly happy for you to discuss their financial affairs with that person. But the most easy and convenient way of doing it is to put a note in the Universal Credit Journal to say that they give permission for the particular person to speak to contact us on their behalf. As soon as they put that message in their journal, it can be seen by the whole of the organisation. So there's no delay in that respect, and they can then look at that information and be able to sort of talk to you as if you'd had something in writing, for example. So it's very important that we do that, because obviously we're not able to give information without the specific consent of the person concerned, quite rightly. I've also included in my briefing notes, I'll put some various links into our gov.uk website, so that that gives you a lot more information than I've got time to go through here today. So I'll include those links, and then you can type those into Google, and that will take you to our gov.uk website and give you all the information that you require, any additional information. That's about all I'm going to say today. So if anyone's got any questions, I'll be pleased to hear them.
Hi, am I okay to go ahead and ask?
Yes.
Hi. One of the questions that I wanted to ask was, you stated that if you've only sort of recently applied for the universal credits, and obviously there's a waiting period for you to get your first payment, you can actually get the advance.
Yes.
So that's okay. If you're already getting the universal credits, can you actually apply for a loan if you're like in a crisis where you're not being able to meet the needs at the moment, sort of basics, and pay it back as a loan that way, rather than going to an independent door-to-door loan people?
Yeah. There is an option for a sort of loan or an advance, as we call it, if you're already in receipt of universal credit, but it's not, because what you're describing, I think, is what used to be the old social fund crisis loan. That's not available anymore. You can get an advance in certain circumstances. If your circumstances have changed, for example, you may have had another child, or you've changed address and the rent is more expensive, or whatever it might be. So if you can link it to something like that, you can get an advance to cover those extra expenses until your next payment is due, when your universal credit would be increased because of that change. But if you're talking about just, well, you know, I'm in hardship and so on, and I can't manage until my next payment, but nothing has changed in your circumstances, you wouldn't be able to get a loan for that. But what we could do is look at, if you already have deductions from your universal credit for utility bills or electricity, gas, rent, and that sort of thing, we could look at maybe reducing those, so that would give you a bit more extra money in your pocket. But yeah, the only type of advances that are available for universal credit are the new claim one or the change of circumstances one. There isn't one that covers sort of anything else.
Right, okay, thank you.
Is that okay for you? Understood?
Yeah,
that?
no, it was just that I was trying to think of other ways. So basically, I've got my older daughter living at home with me, as well as my son that's got additional needs, and she's been on furlough pay for a very, very long time. I've had to help her subsidise some things, which has left us sort of in a financial strain. And I just thought maybe it was easier if I could get sort of a loan from the DWP, so to speak, and pay it back on a monthly basis from my universal credits, rather than having to face the embarrassment of having to go to the local charities and maybe ask for food bank vouchers and that, because it can be quite embarrassing.
Yeah, no, I fully understand that, but I mean, under well, some time ago, under the social fund, there used to be a thing called a crisis loan, where you could apply in those very circumstances you've just described, but the government unfortunately did away with that quite a while ago, so that isn't now an option. So the only option, as far as universal credit's concerned, would be the two that I've described: the new claim advance or the change of circumstances advance. And if you don't fit into any of those, then we wouldn't be able to make any sort of loan under universal credit.
Okay, that's fine. Thank
Okay.
you. And to everybody, I do apologise for the head patch. I've had a bit of a migraine the last 2 days.
Oh dear. Well, I hope you're
That's not a
feeling better
problem.
soon anyway.
Thank you.
It's nice to talk to you. I hope you're feeling better soon.
Thank you, Dave.
Any
Thank
other
you, Helen.
questions at all?
Jason, do you have any question?
No, Usman,
I
no.
think there are 3 people who are waiting to ask some questions. Me, Bernadette, and Steve.
All right, all right.
Yeah, sorry, I can't see the chat on my screen, so.
All right, go ahead, Suno, if you want to ask, then Benedita, then Jason, if you, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So my question is, if a person doesn't speak English and is and needs to contact Universal Credit team, am I able to do? I mean, is it okay if I call from different place to ask just for an interpreter for a person? I mean, I do understand when we call, it says you should be next to the person, but if I call just to ask for an interpreter, is it okay to be not next to the person?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I mean, there are various ways we can do it. I mean, if someone can, you know, if the appointment is going to be at the job centre, if the person is able to bring their own interpreter with them, then obviously that's quite an easy way of doing it. Other than that, we do it through Language Line or one of those sort of services.
I'm surprised, actually, sorry for interrupting you, because I used to go, before the COVID situation, I used to go with a person for interpreting, and I wasn't allowed to do this because I've been told they should use their interpreters by phone. Yeah, that's a Peterborough job centre.
Yeah. No, I mean, under normal circumstances, we would allow that because it makes it, but yeah, I mean, again, it would perhaps depend on the individual person, but I mean, my understanding is that if you come in and act as interpreter for a client, then that wouldn't be an issue. I mean, sometimes we have issues with family members and so on because, you know, if it's the same family, then sometimes things can be lost in translation and whatever. But if it's someone like yourself who's an advocate on behalf of that particular person, I can't see any issue with that.
That's really weird. And about the telephone interpreting, when I call and I say that person is asking for an interpreter, please call him with an interpreter. They say you can't ask for an interpreter for that person. He must call us and ask for an interpreter. I said he doesn't speak English, so they said he must call and say, I need Lithuanian interpreter. That's the answer from the job center. Yeah, well, and one more thing, when we tried to do the conference call, and I said I'm able to help the translations, the lady on the phone said, doesn't matter, we need to use our interpreter. So there were 4 people online. I mean, me, the client, the staff of job center, and 1 more interpreter. And I think that's just a wasting of time, just to let you know. And I'm surprised what you just said, and thank you for this.
No, I'm grateful for that, because that isn't what you've described is not how it should happen. So I'll be having a word just to see what we can do to make sure people are aware of how that should proceed, because you know, the 3-way call should work fine, and people should be aware of how, you know, because we've had to adopt those processes because of COVID anyway. So I'm sorry you've had those experiences.
Very important. And thank you so much.
But yeah, as I say, if you have any issues, as I've said earlier, I will include my email address with the briefing notes and so on. If there's anything I can do to sort things out, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No, thank you, Dave. Benedita, if you have your question, then after you, it will be Steve. So, yeah. Benedita, can you hear me? Unmute your.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I don't have any question at the moment. I think that was well said. Yeah.
All right, wonderful. Steve, it looks like you have a question, Steve.
Yeah, sure. My question was about how the DWP helps people to get back to work as well. in the hub we get, I think, weekly emails from you of like a list of job opportunities. So does that go out to all beneficiaries, or can we forward it on to them with permission, or does it go down, automatically to them?
I'm pleased you mentioned that, because I mean, as you probably know, I'm sure people will be aware, the job centre itself, their main function is to sort of make sure the claims are set up, and then the payments issues and so on are handed over to our colleagues in service centres. So that then leaves our work coaches free, or it did pre-COVID, to be able to concentrate on getting people back into work. But of course, that's one of the most important things. So what we're able to do now, because we're able to get more staff into the offices and so on, we're able now to start to concentrate more on the issue of getting people back into work, because up until fairly recently, all of the staff that would have normally looked at that sort of stuff have been concentrating on getting payments to people, because obviously during the pandemic, the one thing we wanted to do was make sure people had money in their pockets. But you're absolutely right now. So that information that goes out can be, it's all in the public domain. It can be sent out to whoever you like, whoever you think would be most beneficial for it. But certainly now, I mean, we're in the process of contacting all our universal credit clients to say, yeah, we're back in business. What help and support can we now give you to get back into work? So if you get anything like that through those communications that we send out, please forward them on to whoever you think would be most helpful for them. Is that okay?
Great. Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Any more questions?
Anyone else? No.
Usman, we can't hear you. Please unmute yourself.
Sorry. Sorry about that.
It's always new technology, I know.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you very much, Dave. You know, yeah. Can you do us a favor? Do you have any contact to share, please? If you could put it on the chat, then Judith can share it with everyone in case.
What I'll do, I'll put my email address on there, and then brilliant. I'll send through my briefing notes, which will have a lot more information on it, because there's several pages of it, so I can't really put all that in the chat. But I'll certainly put my email address in now.
Please. Yeah.
And as I say, if I can be of any help, please, people contact me. So
yeah, that would be absolutely wonderful, honestly, if you get that one. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would like to contact you. So
right, typing skills are not that quick. So.
Don't worry, take your time, anytime. So yeah, this is absolutely wonderful, you know. So I'm sure I'll be giving all of you opportunity, to come forward at the end of the meeting. I'm sure most of you have something to say. So after Steve, there will be questions, and we'll be giving the floor to everyone, particularly Judith will be the first one. Then anyone wants to come forward, the floor will be yours.
My email address is in the chat now. So as I say, please contact me if I can be any help, and I'll send through some further information after this meeting.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave. I will ask Judith to share your email to everyone. So in case if they want to contact you, they will feel free to get in touch with you. Is that all right?
That's fine. Yes. Thank you very much.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much for having you on board. And Steve, over to you, Mr. Steve, please.
Hi, thanks very much. I did actually send you my PowerPoint, and I'd prefer, if possible, if you could share it from your end, because it can slow down my Wi-Fi otherwise. So, Judita, could you share it, please, if possible?
I think John, should share.
Judith, have you got the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes, we have, but I think John should share, but I will try
No,
to.
you can share it as well. You are allowed to share it anyway. Definitely, you can share it.
All right,
Yeah.
and it will take a bit time.
Even if Steve can share it if he wants.
Well, I'll try. Just it might slow down the sort of.
I got you. You're
Much
right.
past Peterborough. So let's try.
Judith, have you seen it? Yeah. Steve started sharing. Yeah, here we go.
Can you see it?
Yeah, wonderful.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you can see it because I can't see it for some reason. Okay, well, I hope I won't bore anyone with this presentation because I see a lot of familiar faces in the room who probably know quite a lot about the COVID Hub already. So bear with me if I repeat myself or repeat what you already know. So I work as a community connector with Peterborough City Council. I have various roles, but one of them is working on the COVID-19 Hub. So this brings together a number of people from PCC who work on this phone line. What we do is to support people to build their strengths and resilience, to give them a hand up, not a handout, to deal with the situations they're facing, both during the pandemic and now going forward after the pandemic. Oh, I didn't put it on slideshow. That would probably help.
Yeah.
Is it on slideshow now?
Not yet.
Yes.
Right. Okay. All right. So are you seeing the basics?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So how did this start? It started obviously at the beginning of the first lockdown, the first wave of the pandemic. So in March last year. And it was brought together a number of staff from PCC led by a hub navigator and different officers. And I think one of the strengths of the hub is that the people manning the phone lines are kind of interdisciplinary. So we have somebody from a community connector, there was somebody from housing, somebody from youth, somebody from early years. So it means we've got a fairly broad view across PCC services and able to respond to various kind of needs and issues that come up. So the phone lines are manned Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, except for bank holidays. One thing we really emphasize to people is not an emergency service. If it's somebody calls up with which people do sometimes, with something that's really a life and death matter, that's a matter for 999 or for the police or the health service or whatever. Not for us. We're not able to deal with those. So we're trying to reach out and try to respond to people who, those people that don't have an existing support network. If they have a support network, we try to get them to utilize that. And I'll come to that with the next slide. And we try to respond to all the calls within 2 days from when we receive them. So this triangle, which hopefully you can see, just kind of tries to show how we try to support people from the bottom, the most basic situation, up to what we can offer them in the council as well. So trying to build their strengths and resilience, first of all, by helping them to use their own personal coping mechanisms. Often, of course, they do, and they call the council, they call the hub because they can't. But the first thing to do is try to explore how they can use their own personal resources or the resources of their family, friends and neighbours. After that, community groups can potentially lend a hand, offer support. And then finally, the kind of more institutional, organisational support from the council or some of the big charities as well. So the community groups and the charities, quite a number of those are supported by PCC, are funded to some extent by PCC. In the past, there was the Integration Fund about 2 years ago, I think 2 or 3 years ago. More recently, there was the COVID-19 Community Fund, which was small grants to community groups. And from time to time, these kind of funding opportunities come up to actually support those community groups and charities to also respond to individuals. So the aim always is to help people towards independence, to enable people to solve problems themselves and to meet their own needs. So just going to go through those kind of levels a little bit. So building people's personal family resilience. So the first thing we do when people call up to the hub is ask them about their personal resources. So what support do they already have from themselves, within themselves, from their family, friends and neighbours immediately. And sometimes people, because of the situation, maybe it's a mental health problem, maybe it's just feeling very isolated, they may not be able to sort of mobilize or identify or really draw upon their own resources. So we can, to some extent, talk them through that, talk through their problems, help them with problem solving on the phone, or otherwise, if we can maybe connect them to somebody who can offer that kind of more mentoring, befriending, encouragement, support to help them to solve their problems by themselves. And we ask them about how they normally dealt with the situation. A common one is it's shopping, it's food, gardening, transport, picking up prescriptions, these kind of needs. So how would they normally deal with it? And then what's happened to mean that they can't deal with it now, and how can we support them? We ask them about their benefits. We're not benefits experts at all, but we ask them about when the benefits are due, if they're on universal credit, it's a monthly payment. So that gives us a sense about how much time, is it a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever, that they need to kind of get support for before they can actually meet their own financial needs. And we ask them about support services they may already be accessing, whether it's mental health, social services, adult social care. And if they're already receiving those services, then we can maybe sort of intervene or give them a bit of a nudge, call up adult social care services, adult social care, call mental health services, housing services to say, this person has an issue, could you, get in touch and try to deal with it. Social housing is also a big one, and Cross Keys have been absolutely fantastic through the whole pandemic with their Be Kind fund. And residents may themselves call directly to Cross Keys to say, I'm in need of, food or transport or something. And then Cross Keys would respond, or otherwise we will get in touch with Cross Keys on their behalf. Other social housing associations haven't been quite as responsive, sadly, although we do try to encourage them to take that sort of responsibility. And we kind of refer people to the LEAP service, which some of you probably know is about energy. That's kind of been put on a bit of a pause for the time being. I think it was up to the end of March, and it's going to kind of restart again in the autumn. So a lot of the things they were doing have stopped, but that they can help with switching energy suppliers. I think they were giving some. At one point, they were giving white goods to people, give energy efficient light bulbs, help with insulation, a whole range of different energy related support that they can provide. Community groups, so similar, I guess, to what Citizens Advice was saying earlier, we can signpost people to different community groups, such as the food banks. There's the main Peterborough food bank, as well as some smaller community ones, such as in Paston and Millfield. Another one started quite recently in Eye as well, in the village of Eye. So some of these, because PCC funds them or gives them some funding, we have a little bit of that kind of influence or leverage over them. So some of them are kind of open access, others might need a referral. So we help people to access those kind of support services. Some churches and faith-based groups have been absolutely fantastic as well. And again, we kind of have a little bit of relationship with some of them, so they can provide transport, clothing, shopping assistance. Some parish councils are kind of have mobilised volunteers to help their residents. Other community groups, examples are Nest Foundation, which helps with shopping, Care Network, some ethnic minority groups, and mutual aid groups, which kind of came about through COVID, where people have just come together to offer support to their neighbours and other people in their community. A lot of this, the mutual aid groups seem to be more at parish level in rural areas, maybe where there's a bit more of a sense of community than in urban Peterborough. is a good example of that, and again, some of the villages like Wittering is another good example. So yeah, and yeah, shops and businesses, they've been playing their part as well. Some of the NISAs can do free delivery. Yeah, a lot of this is about the relationship that we have with them, and we try to sort of build and nurture those relationships. And some restaurants can provide hot meals and provide delivery of that as well. So if somebody has a particular urgent need, then we can maybe arrange that. Morrison's have community champions. I mean, Morrison's, the supermarket, has a good doorstep delivery service anyway. But for people that, for example, there's a couple of older people that didn't have credit cards, that didn't have cash at home, but they could pay by cheque. And normally, not many places take cheques these days, but through the community champions, they would allow cheque payment. So things like that they could help with. And also just telling people about different exchanges that exist, things like Olio, which is a food exchange service or app. Free Cycle, where people maybe need furniture. I mean, there's things like Care Zone, but also people gift goods through Free Cycle as well. And just advising people about using their local Facebook group as well. I mean, a lot of the local Facebook groups in Peterborough, you find people offering or requesting goods and services as well. So that's another thing that people can turn to. And then finally, kind of the organizational, institutional support. So yeah, as I said, we can help connect people or just remind people in adult social care housing to say, we've had a call from one of your clients, could you please look into this? And then they would. And then we do have several government schemes as well that we kind of administer through the hub. The priority shopping slots is one where if somebody is shielding or self-isolating, they can't get to the shops and they can't get a slot at supermarkets, then we can give them a priority slot at Tesco's and Iceland, particularly through a government scheme. That's something that was going on from December through to about last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago, was the winter support grants and the family fund. So that was emergency payments that we could make to people for shopping vouchers and also fuel vouchers as well. And it wasn't sort of needs assessed, or you know, the barrier for receiving that was quite low, or the bar was quite low to receive that. So that was quite a nice support, which helped a lot of people. But unfortunately, that ended quite recently. And yeah, there were various charities that we on the hub have kind of a little bit of a special relationship with. We've been trained and authorised to, for example, issue food bank vouchers, to make referrals to Care Zone and their money advice service at Kingsgate. We can make referrals to Red Cross, where they have a hardship fund as well. And yeah, we refer to Citizens Advice, and we can provide transport for things like vaccine appointments as well. And some of these supports have been kind of time specific, things like Christmas holidays, there was particular availability of funds and support, and then half term as well. There was some availability then as well. So that's where we're available on 747474 option 1, and yeah, we're there to receive calls.
Yeah.
Any questions are most welcome.
Yeah, Steve, thank you very much. Yeah, I got a question. I know there are a lot of people that those who have temporary accommodation from Peterborough City Council. I know you guys will offer furnitures for them sometime. Without furniture, you offer furnitures for them. So, do you normally, if those people need the furniture, are you going to deliver it with a? Do you offer a free delivery, or they have to pay the delivery charges?
I'm not exactly sure how housing department themselves handle that. But ourselves, we would refer to, on the hub, we would refer to Care Zone for that. And there is as I understand, there is a delivery charge. I think it's £5 for delivering transport, but it's kind of optional. They're not insistent upon it, so it's they're very happy to waive it if the person is unable to pay. So.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you for that. Any more questions, guys, please? Any more questions? Steve, thank you very much for your presentation. I think do you have any information to share with us, Steve, like everybody did, in case anybody wants to contact you?
Sure, I can give you my email address. I'll put that into the text now. Because the hub is on a rota and there's a number of us, the best thing for people, for individual residents, is to get in touch by the phone line, and then whoever's on duty that day pick up the call. But for organisations and charities, welcome for them to email direct. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I know we have your emails anyway, but other people, they might need your details in case they want to get in touch with you. So you can just share it through the chat. That will be absolutely fantastic. All right. I think once again, thank you very much, Steve, for having you on board. Judita, if you have anything to say before the floor is given to the audience that or attendees, that will be absolutely fantastic. You can come forward anyway.
So first of all, thank you very much to all attendees of this session, and special thanks to all our speakers for their very informative and professional presentations. Also, I would like to remind and ask everyone of you to fill out now the feedback form, which is in a chat field. You can do it now, and please do it, because your feedback is very important to us, especially when receiving the funding to help parent carriers. So thank you very much for your time attending our session. Our next session will be on 27th of May, and topic is carriers for the upcoming Carriers Week. So also I would like to remind everybody that it is very important to fill out booking form 24 hours before this session. And again, thank you very much to all of you for today's session, and please join our next one session on May. And now please complete the feedback form for us. Thank you very much.
Judith, thank you very much. Also, don't forget to remind them that our May 25th, we are planning a barbecue for the leaders.
We have also.
We want everybody to be, to be there on that day. You can just go ahead and, explain everything.
Also we have the session on 25th, and it will be for community leaders, and we will send you special invitations to come and to join us at outside garden on Family Voice Peterborough. So we will have a barbecue, and we would like to have a chat with you about our partnership and cooperation.
Thank you very much. We'll be very happy if you all can attend that wonderful day, because there will be barbecue and drinks and everything. I'm sure all of you will enjoy it on that day. So now, Benedetta, I'm sure you have something to say. Would you like to come forward, please? I know you are doing a wonderful job towards the communities. So if you have anything to say, please come forward and say it now, because people will be happy to hear from you. And whoever wanna say anything, please, the floor will be open to you, please. Yeah, just come forward and say, like Shino, Faustina, anybody, all of you. Yeah,
Okay.
please. Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you, Osman. I would just love to say that it's really good for Family Voice to give us this opportunity as leaders to come. And I feel it's a really good way of getting information to the community members too, and getting those statutory bodies talking to us. Yes, thank you, Steve, for what you said. Just like to say that Black History Month, we were also giving food parcels to many families, and which some of it we were being helped by the COVID-19 group also through Little Miracles, who gave us some food also to give to community groups, especially those with no recourse to public funds. And there were others who were shielding, and just to kind of help them to self-isolate and follow the government guidelines. We did give food parcels, and we did over 2,000 beneficiaries doing that. And Steve, if you remember, we did send some to you, and you were able to also deliver some of the foods that we were giving and working together with Food Bank. I think during this pandemic, many groups came together, and I would really, really want the statutory bodies to recognize the work of community leaders who are working at the grassroots levels and working so hard to kind of make the community be supported in various ways, and also refer them to these statutory bodies. Without those community leaders, I don't think the statutory bodies would reach the grassroots. And therefore, I commend every community leader who has been working. You know, we've had a long journey to where we are now, and we welcome the statutory bodies to work with us. And I think that's a better way to do it. And therefore, as I always say, there's no hard to reach community group. I believe at times the services are hard to reach and not the communities. Thank you. I'll leave you with that word. And if you wanna celebrate with me, the community hero, just go to Central Park. You'll see my plaque there, and you can just say hello to me there. Otherwise, we are going to have an event on June the 26th at Central Park. It will be a sports day, and that is under the Friends of the Park. I just hope there will be no lockdown. So far, it's been okayed by the council, but it might change in case something happens, but fingers crossed it will be there. So you're all welcome on the day. Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Benedetta. I just wanted to add to what you said, and all the brilliant work you've been doing. And your words stuck with me: one love, one community. And also, I second what you said about there's no hard to reach community. So long as you make the effort to connect and make the effort to contact them and reach out to them, then they can be reached. And I also second what Benedetta said. A lot of work has been done in the communities and by the community leaders. There's more joint working, more supporting each other, and Family Voice has played an important part in this, you know, inviting us to come to the meeting. We have gained very valuable information. I hope these slides can be shared with me so that I can review them and take on the information that I need to pass it on to the community members. I've taken some notes, but if I can have the slides, it would be better. And also, another thing is the communities have been working so hard in the last year, and lots been done, lots being achieved, and we find that the more you do, the more you find it to do. It's never ending, it's never stopping. And we do have quite a burnt out community leaders and volunteers, and there's something got to be done to support the leaders and the volunteers for them to be able to support more for the communities. So I just stop there, and I hope this can be taken on board. Thank you.
Osman, please unmute yourself, and we will be able to hear you.
Thank you very much, Judith. I always forget, man. So, thank you. Yeah, like I always said, thank you so much, Faustina, and thank you so much, Benedita. Like I always said, the main reason for these meetings and inviting all these professional speakers is because of you community leaders to come forward and give your input, because these are very, very important, because we can only reach other people through community leaders. So that's why we always organize these meetings for you to come on board and, listen to what the speakers are saying, and that will be very important to you or useful to your communities. And you are doing exactly that. And thank you very, very, very much for having you on board. And I will not tire of thanking our professional speakers, Helen and Janet and Dave, Steve. You have been wonderful to us, honestly speaking. Without you, I don't think Family Voice will be able to function anyway. Thank you very, very much. And we would like to see you next time also. Suno, another lady, she's doing a wonderful job as well. So, Suno, I think maybe you have something to say. If you have something to say, please come forward, please, because we want to hear from you. We want to listen to you. We know that the good job you are doing towards your communities, this is really commendable. Honestly, just come forward and say something.
Thank you. Yeah, it will be fair to inform you now that I'm not a member of Lithuanian community team anymore. And if you need to contact Peterborough Lithuanian community, please contact Marius, who is here today as well on the Zoom meeting. But I will continue helping and supporting Lithuanians in Peterborough, and I will remain the voice of Lithuanians in Peterborough. So please don't forget to invite me to your barbecue. So I will continue to work, and if you need my help, you always can keep in touch with me, and I will do the same thing. I will work with you shoulder to shoulder. So thank you.
I can assure you that you are part of us. We will always invite you. We will always love to see you every time. Don't worry about that. You will get your invitation straight away on the post. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem. Mario, do you want to say something, please? Mario.
Hello. Just a second. I'll put the camera. So. Hello.
Hello, Marius.
Well,
welcome on board.
Here, so, yeah. Hello. Yeah, thank you. I'm quite new here, so I'm just listening to everyone now. So I'm trying to see new faces. So hopefully next time I'll be more active. Okay. So today, just hello to everyone. I hope you meet you in face to face soon.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can cooperate then. Thank you.
Brilliant, Marius. If you are the one who's taking over from her, would you like to share your contacts so that we will be able to get in touch with you in case if any further meeting or any further gathering or anything else? Yeah, please. Like we always do with Snow. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll drop my email address and my phone number into the chat. Okay.
Yeah, please. Thank you very much. Do that, please. Yeah. Like I said, Snow, don't worry about that. Anything we need, we will contact both of you, Marius and Snow, anyway, so for you to come on board. Yeah?
Okay, lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jason, do you have anything to say?
Oh, sorry, David.
No.
Dave, it looks like you want to say something before Jason.
No, I was just thanking. I'm just going to thank all the speakers. Found some of that quite interesting as well. So some things I didn't even know. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sure all of you will be receiving your refreshment. Please don't forget to listen to your doorbells. Maybe they'll be ringing very shortly. Tanya, do you have anything to say, please? Tanya, you have been very quiet today, man. We need you here, please.
You. I'm busy with the children, you see, but no, it'll be lovely to meet you all at the barbecue.
Yeah, definitely. All of you will be invited.
Nice meeting some new people today. It's been great.
Thank you very much.
Is working together. Thank you.
Thank you. Karen, anyway, she said something anyway. And yesterday also, all of you quiet. You have something to say, please, before we can let anybody go?
I'm all good, thank you.
Thank you very much, Karen.
Thank you for everyone who presented today. Very useful information. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much, Faustina, for that. Honestly, Dave, like I said, Dave, Helen, Steve, and Janet, you have been so wonderful to us. Thank you very, 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 very much. Honestly, we appreciate you so much. Yeah, thank you for your wonderful presentation. Yeah. Pardon? Jason, what do you want to say?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't realise on.
All right. Like I said, thank you for our wonderful speakers. The information given to us is really, really useful, you know, and definitely I'm sure a lot of people will get in touch with you. And I can't, you know, stop thanking all of you attendees. You know, you guys have been wonderful, because I think we couldn't do this one without you. Thank you very, very much. Judith, I cannot forget you also, the wonderful job you are doing for Family Voice. And, you know, thank you very, 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 very much for that. You know, you have
You're
been so
welcome.
wonderful for us, you know. Yeah.
I see Marius. Is that your legacy hand, or you want to say something?
Marius.
Oh, sorry. I just pressed it by mistake. Sorry. I'm okay. Thank you.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Judith, if you want to wrap up, so that, and I'm sure people like Steve, Dave, and Helen, they are very, very busy people anyway, and they want to do something else anyway. So if you want to wrap up, and so that we can let everybody go, that will be absolutely fantastic, Judith, please, if you can do that. Thank you.
Yes, I just want to remind to everybody and ask everybody, please fill out our feedback forms. And once again, thank you very much to our speakers for our very, very informative sessions today. And I think it's very useful information you shared with us. And we hope to cooperate and to continue to partnership with you. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much for having you today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.